Okay.
Cool.
Welcome to Ruby Tuesday JavaScript Penang, number 20. This time we'll be doing it online. So for those who are watching in Facebook and YouTube, welcome. So let's get started. So proudly brought to you by our KL Ruby Brigade, JavaScript Malaysia, Penang Tech, Ruby Malaysia Meetup Group, and here is our Slack. So I'm Gui. I'm the co-organizer of Ruby Tuesday and JavaScript Penang. So we run meetups every month of second Tuesday of the month. So so let us start. This is our agenda for today. So we will start with Ruby Track, Real Single Table Inheritance by Kim Yu, and then we'll be going for Fireside Chat for Penang developers. So let me pass to Kim Yu. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So I hope everyone can hear me because this is my first time doing it. And good evening, everyone at Malaysia. Today I would like to present the single table inheritance, especially using Rails itself. So let me screen sharing right now. Oh. I think I might have to allow the second screen share. Let's see whether that works. Okay, my bad. I think I need to.
Okay. So we wait for Kim Yu set up slides. So later we'll have more people from Penang side join us on Fireside Chat. So let's start.
Sorry. So just now it was Mac was asking me to screen share, and then I couldn't do it because the privacy issues. So I have to restart my browser to do that. So let's try again. Cool.
Yeah, share.
Share screen again. Let's see. Let's hope it works now. Share screen. And then second screen. Okay. Okay, you guys can see my screen, right? So let me present it. Okay, it takes a while. So before I get started, I'm Kim. I actually work in a couple startups at Austin. So prior to this, right now I'm working with a fintech startup, and prior to this, I was working on with a digital marketing company for about 3 years, and then before that, I have an internship with that too. So so what is single table inheritance in Rails? So single table inheritance itself is like you trying to have multiple objects that you're trying to represent with OOP by using one table in database. And how would you accomplish it in Rails? It's actually very simple. You just need to add a type column in the table itself, and then you just create a model which inherit from the parent class. And why would you want to use it, right? Because maybe you have an object that share many common fields, right? And you don't want to write a lot of code, and it actually make your code a lot drier. And second is just works, right? And other than that, the benefit is that you can get the information easier. Like when you write the query, it's you can use the parent class to aggregate the data easily. Example, right now you have a guest, you have a user model, right? Even with user model, you can have a single table inheritance example by doing like you have a guest, you have an admin, you have like super admin, and then you have you pretty much have a type, different type like admin, user, super admin, and other stuff. And when would you not using a single table inheritance? It's when you find your model has to scale or when those stuff doesn't correlate to each other. Example, maybe you want to have a more robust support on your user, and you want to have like one user have multiple roles, and then you might want to create multiple tables. So the reason is that because otherwise you are going to run into a case where, example, maybe user and guest, example, guest and admin are very different. They could have like guest itself could have like they don't have credit card number, they don't have like address, you don't keep track of address, you don't do special field, like you may have like 5 columns sitting on the table itself, but you couldn't, like there's no, like you don't fill up the value, and you will find yourself having a lot of no value, and you can't get against on the database layer because you can have a not no constraint example on it. So that's the case where you don't want to use it. And then I will give you guys a demo. It's pretty simple. So let's run some code here. Cool. So yeah, it's a little bit slower. Okay. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Okay. CV to desktop, demo, and let's see. So to actually create a Rails code, it's actually my machine is running a little slower today because this is an old machine. So actually, you can. A lot of people always tell me that they have a trouble to spin up Rails app, or maybe it's a framework, it's too much to write and other stuff. But actually, you can play around with Rails code in just one single Ruby file. So so this is all the gems that I'm using, especially Rails and Pry. Later you'll see how I use Pry as well to help you debug. And then I'm creating a database table, which is a single table here, which is an accounts, right? And then it has a first name, last name, timestamp, email, and this is the most crucial part to support single table inheritance. Later you will know why. And this is type. And then this is deactivated at this is timestamp, whether an account is active or not. And then the pricing, right? How much you pay for this account, right? So so I have a parent class, which is an account. So in a single table inheritance case, you will see like there's a trial account, that inherit account. There'll be a small SMB account that inherit account as well. And then there'll be an enterprise account that inherit account. What you can see is that we can have like, because trial account, SMB account, enterprise account has a lot of common field here. That's why single table inheritance makes sense, and pretty much none of the field has a non-null have a non-null constraint, meaning all of them are mandatory. So what is different is that when you deactivate, maybe on the account, you know that you always want to do the you want to put a timestamp, right? You want to say like, oh, you deactivate. But at the same time, example, SMB account, you might want to inform a different layer of account manager. You want to say like, oh, it's an SMB account. I want to call like one of my coworkers to just save this account, prevent them to churn. And then for the enterprise account, we want to escalate to even further to someone who is very important and very good to, save the account. So you can override the behavior here. So that's how you can see very clean and dry code from single table inherited itself. And here is how I set up my test. So there'll be a trial account that you create. There'll be an SMB account that I created, an enterprise account. From the setup itself, you can find that actually I never specified type at all, because Rails actually know that they know how to put in the type correctly, and we'll be able to see that in a short period of time. So, and I'm just testing when I use the parent account. That's how I easily know like how many total account I have, which is 3. And this is just a sanity check, like each account itself is actually created one of them. And so this is the moment of truth. Very simple to run this code, which is if you just run like Ruby and then the file name, and you pretty much run the Rails code. And okay, we are installing the gems now. And then as we can see, that's no failures. All of the code runs successfully. And you can see that this is how we select the account, and see how the query was saying like it's actually automatically know that it's using a trial account as the type, SMB account as the type, and enterprise account as the type. And today I can even like show you guys, if I have a binding prior here, right? We can even play around with the query itself, like see how the field does the field actually have the type with like trial count and other stuff. Yeah, a lot of people always tell me that it's very hard to play with Rails, but it's not. It takes me like less than 5 minutes or so to like find the thing. So since we have that, right? So if you see that it's 1, right? I didn't lie to you guys. The assertion is correct. And another thing is that if you try to run like first, right? You can see that the type itself here is actually saying trial account. So our test is actually successful. And if I have like the first to like T equals to first account, and then if I do deactivate, right? And then it should print out the, let me see, yeah. So does that do, it will have the deactivated at, right? So see, that's how the inheritance works, because it's calling the parent deactivated at. So, and it doesn't print anything. I was like, where's the others print? Because we never want to even try to save the trial account, because it's $0, right? And then for the SMB account, if we do the same thing here, right? Oh, I'm using T, so that's bad. So I can do this, and I can do underscore dot deactivated, deactivate, right? See, it actually inform account manager 1, and it actually have a level. It actually deactivate as well, right? Because it update the database with the timestamps. And we can verify it with, because we only have 1, right? The only 1, right? So we can just see back. See, we have it deactivated. So this is how you can leverage STI to run very clean code. And yeah, that's pretty much. And then for aggregating the data, if you are having a separate model, you probably have to write some union code. But because you are using single inheritance, so you can easily say like I want like account dot count, right? I have 3 of them, right? I don't care what is their type, right? Maybe I just want to know like how many subscribers I have, right? Example, you are just running a Slack company, you want to know all those stuff, and then you can also run like I have an active skill. You can say like, oh, how many of them are active, right? I don't care what is their type, right? Maybe I only care like where, type is the, what's that called, trial account. And I'm not sure this will work, but let's try, right? Maybe I can't do that. Maybe I need to do like map ampersand colon type. Maybe I need to do that. Interesting. I can't do that actually. Yep.
Yep. Is it because of the string type trial account string?
No, you know why? Because yeah, I mean, I'm just no. Yeah, it has to be string. You're right. Thanks for the help. I don't even remember I need to do that. Map and then ampersand dot 2s, right? Yeah, so that's another way, right? So I think that this also represents how you can easily query stuff without having to load those stuff into the memory, or you have to write some raw SQL to union all those types, right? So I think that's all my demonstrations for today. And if you have any question, I would like to answer. If not, that's tell me how you. If you have anything, you can reach out to me. When using the single table inheritance, I find it sometimes useful, but sometimes I have to scale it to use it with like polymorphism, or I have to break into multiple tables or multi-table inheritance. Yeah.
So
Okay.
now you mentioned that it's tied to the type column, right? So do you able to custom it to use other columns, or it's tied to just type?
Okay. So type itself is very magical in Rails, because it actually provide a lot of support. If you have to do it yourself, you can. It's not STI support by default from Rails. You have to either use scoping, and then you have to use the. I've seen like people did default scope. You probably don't want to do that, but you can do scope with that. You have to manually set up like scope here. So you have to do like you provide a scope, and then you say like the default scope here. I think that's how you can do it. But this is very dangerous, because one of the query will, if somehow, because I ran into these issues, so I'm actually can demonstrate to you guys like one of the query that I ran into is that let's spin up the app again. And
yeah, for the audience out there, if you have any questions, you can type in the comment, either in YouTube or Facebook. We're able to see it.
So, so one of the problem is that I've run into issues like if if you can see right on this what's that, SMB account, right? See, even if you're trying to change the scoping, if you use the default the type column itself from Rails, it will never be wrong. But if you're trying to implement your own single table inheritance each, and then using default scope itself, and if you run this, if you try it out yourself with this query, you won't get the correct number. You will get 3, and that's why I said like Rails actually did a lot of support in using like you have to use the type, and it's the magical column. As you can see that I never even, when I did the creation itself, I never even specify like what is the type itself, because it's implicit. It knows that it knows how to fill up the type automatically. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So
Yeah.
if for developers that they already have existing database, if they want to use SDI, what is the advice that you can give them?
Actually, it wasn't hard to even add a single table inheritance, because if you have no association at all right now, it's not very difficult to migrate, because all you need is to add a type column, right? And then on the inheritance part, you just need to uh, make sure you inherit from the model, right? That's nothing else you need to do. 2 things only. So one is run a migration, add a column type, and then fill up the type and maybe lock it down. You have to, because you are doing the migration on the existing table, so your migration will have like no type, and then will have like non-null, and then do a migration, and then you add a null non-null constraint on it, and then you just did the same thing here, right? So I think it's very straightforward in my opinion. But the advice that I would give to them is that if you start, because I think that this solution has a trade-off. It's very easy to implement. It's very convenient to use, but sometimes it doesn't fit. Example, the earlier example when I was talking in the slide, when I talk about if you have a user, you have a guest, you have an admin, you have like a super admin, that kind of scenario, you might not want to use it because it doesn't scale well. Let's say, who knows, your user could have multiple roles, right? And it belongs to the groups, right? And then now it's probably you want to roll your own multiple tables to support it. One single table, it's very cheap solution in my opinion. It's like for something very close, very similar-ish, you can use it. That's my opinion.
Okay. Will you have a GitHub link for the demo just now you shown? Or
Yeah, I can put up a gist
okay,
later. Yeah.
sure. So later
Mhm.
we'll be sharing to the group, Facebook group, and also the
Okay,
YouTube channel. So I
definitely.
think let's see, we go through the comments. We have one saying nice sharing. So
Mhm.
okay. Um, if no more question, then we'll move to the next agenda on our list. So I think Kim Yu. So if you want to stay with us for the
Mhm.
session for Fireside, you're welcome. Because
Mhm.
we'll be having one more. Yep, developer Xiong. So Xiong will be joining us for the Fireside. So next we'll be moving to Fireside Chat, right? So let's get started on that. Let me remove this. Okay. So um, I think we can start with introducing ourselves, and we'll be talking about like what is our developer life with CMO or home quarantine during this COVID-19, right? So I'm Gui. I'm a software developer for currently machine learning test automation company in San Francisco. I work remotely in Penang. So dev life during CMO. So in Malaysia, we have home quarantine policy where everyone needs to stay at home and avoid going to crowded places. So it doesn't affect me much because I already worked as a developer for a couple of years now. So it's kind of normal for me because every day I would wake up and then just work from home. So it doesn't really affect me much. Just that for community events, I won't able to travel to meet people face to face, and most of the events have moved online. So yeah, pretty much that's my take on that. So let's go to Xiong.
Say, hi, I'm Xiong. So I'm a software developer at one of the systems integrator at Butterworth. I work from the office and we have on-site services. So MCO was sort of like a vacation period for me because my office was adapting to work from home. So, well, my boss had to learn how to use remote tools for chatting and video conferencing. So like the first 2 weeks were kind of like a holiday, I would say. Then afterwards, it came like a lot of WhatsApp messages and off the hours, work hours. Then once the government like sort of had, I would say, they were slightly lifting the restrictions for essential services. So our company applied for that really, really fast, like one of the first few companies to given the permit. So we had all sorts of like SOPs and 50% workforce decline and stuff like that. Then in the office, we had like registration, temperature taking, and then washing your hands. And you just could stay at the office for the whole while of the MCO. So recently, we've been on site already for the last 2 weeks, even though traveling out of state with the work permits and stuff. So it was quite of an experience to see how it was affecting other cities in Malaysia, like in Perak and KL and Johor itself. So yeah, for me, I do desktop apps for usually writing middleware for companies like manufacturers and their MES systems, I guess. So yeah, work has been back to usual. Kind of wonder how Gui keeps his hair so short. Everyone has unkept hair. You cut at home or what?
Yeah, my wife have to
secret barber. Private barber.
Family members have that experience.
Yeah, looking forward for them to open up the barber shops. My hair has been very long already. I can't stand it. It's hot.
Yeah, I think it's a common problem for most people after a few months, right?
Well, some co-workers have private barbers, as you said. Either their wife cut for them, their kids cut for them, or they have some backdoor barbers or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, nice to meet everyone. Then sorry for being late also.
It's okay. So, how about Kim Yu? Any experience there in the States?
The MCO here, it's not that strict, as you guys know. Based on the numbers you guys see in the newspaper, United States is the champion, right, on the like getting the highest numbers for the coronavirus death and cases. Actually, it wasn't that bad at Texas itself, and I still see a lot of people going around at the first, I think early March, like not much people even like wearing masks, and other stuff. But it's very interesting. But then soon, the New York have the highest number of like coronavirus, even beating China. I mean, the whole country. So people start wearing masks, and right now when I go out, I still wear masks. I think it's not that bad. But one thing that I actually get a little bit benefit from it is that our company is doing a lot better because we are conferencing solutions for fintech, and we are closing a lot more business, and they just want the tech like as soon as possible. So it was a blessing, I would say. And then and our company actually lost our physical office because of that too, because our boss thinking like it probably doesn't make sense to lease on the downtown anymore, and then we just go virtual for now. And even when the things open it up a little bit, we might go with like a little bit hybrid mode, which is just go to office whenever you feel you want to see people. So it's pretty much work from home, and we stay productive with Slack, and then yeah, everything is just integrated through Slack, like all our Grafana and GitHub, and yeah, all those notifications, Circle CI, all run through Slack. So pretty much you can do anything with Slack right now. So.
So I think there's a lot of tools. I think also conference have been moving to online now. So there's a lot of online conference where you can join for free. Now you just need to choose what conference you want to go, right? You have Rails conference.
But the problem is that they don't have a solutions to close business, because most conference out there, they don't have encryptions, right? Like if you use Zoom, right, you easily run into the problem. So how do you provide encryptions, end-to-end encryptions from every single stack? Because example, if you want to convince a bank to use your technology, they will have to audit from front to back, running pen testing everywhere, and they will ask like, what is your vendor? Like, and then they have a lot of firewall that you have to get through. So this is one of the exciting things that we are working right. Actually, we already have that solution, but we are tweaking our encryptions solutions. And also the other part is that they don't have a way to sign a document, right? They don't have a way to like, they either have to use email back and forth, or they don't have an audit as well. They don't have a, like, let's say today, me and you trying to close business online, right? You can't do it with like just Zoom itself, because you have to, how do you upload your document safely and then store it and have an audit trail on it? You don't have a solution for that, and you don't even have a way to collaborate and then screen share. Everything is all keeping track and securely. So a lot of banks are looking out for this solution, and in the market, I don't see any of them are doing a full-fledged solution, I would say. So
that's quite a valid demand, actually. Once you brought it up, like I can't imagine like holding up a piece of paper and then saying I'm gonna sign it right here, and then showing it like that.
Yeah, especially financial people are like, at least on state, a lot of people have like 401k, which is like something like KWSP. Imagine if you can like transfer your KWSP or like your fund, or like example, you want to inherit, you have a money for your child, you want to do all the bank work, you don't have to go to the branch itself. It keep people safe from social distancing, and also like you don't have a physical paper, right? You never lost your paper, and also you can verify that their ID, all the stuff by screen capturing and other stuff too. So yeah, it's an essential solution, and it's a new way how we live right now, I would say.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I think the tools are definitely useful for currently the trend is like everything is moving online. So how people from the offline like will basically when the business is dealing physically and offline, how to let them join the online ecosystem, because everything somehow are forced to be online right now. So it's I think it's a good thing to like have this kind of technology or solutions for people to get in. Um, and also, I think the usage of online document or scheduling is getting more popular now, right? So for software development, I think we are get used to like planning our tasks with either Trello or Jira or Asana, certain task management software. Um, so yeah, any let's see, anything that you can think of that will help businesses to move online, like any advice or um, tools that they can use. But I know just now mentioned about Slack. Slack is like very useful, right? You can integrate a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but businesses in Malaysia, they tend to be quite stingy about subscriptions and stuff. So even though we use Slack, it's like really less popular than WhatsApp. So everything just seems to happen on WhatsApp
Because
for us.
yeah, I don't know
It's kind
why
of
though.
crazy.
Because like maybe they haven't reached like if I'm going to run a startup in Malaysia with anything doing hiring an engineering team, I won't let them use WhatsApp because they haven't leveraged like this, most of them, because they are kind of like asking you to do tasks, right? You have a group chat or other stuff, but I think mainly like they haven't fully integrate others alerts and others notification through like Slack itself. I don't think you can do that with WhatsApp though, right?
No, there's really
Not,
limited functionality.
yeah,
I understand.
you can't have like bots like telling you, oh, your production is down, your deployment never goes out, and all those stuff. Yeah, but at least on our engineering team, what we did was like having different channels, and then pretty much all the notification that we use for like multiple integration, third-party integration will run through different channels, and then developers will just have one place to look at the communicating, and then look at like other statuses. So yeah. Oh, the advice I would give though is that I mean, Facebook is a good solution, right? For low barrier, right? So you can sell your stuff through Facebook Live. That's
Yeah,
one
Facebook
thing.
pages and stuff.
Yeah.
So even our company has like put more emphasis on Facebook and email groups. I think that's the only thing that my boss gets. Is like sending emails is the thing he gets. And yeah, WhatsApp, I agree, is that with task arrangements, pretty much if the person missed the task, it will immediately be flooded or buried by the remaining group chat messages. So Slack has been useful to help keep track of it, and we use Trello along with it. So we kind of have this integration of Trello and Calendar with it, Trello and Google Calendar. So that's how we keep track of timetables during the MCO, I'll say.
So we have a comment from our YouTube channel. So Telegram, some government ministry is using it now. I think
Particularly the health ministry.
so we receive some information from the government through Telegram. I think they have a way around how to use their API and sending them over. Maybe they integrate with the CMS, right?
But they're actually using it quite well, to be honest. It's as a broadcast group, it does what it does.
Yeah.
Then I would assume that Telegram had maybe a couple million people signing up for the broadcast.
Yeah, true. let's go on with so since everything is going remotely, right? How do you conduct your meetings, like team meetings? How would normally you'll be doing it um, not remotely in the office, and compared to now, you need to be doing it online. So what's the difference, right?
The difference for me, we use Google Meet. So we had the G Suite account, and then Google Meet was quite the, I would say, saving grace compared to everything else. We tried, we didn't try Zoom. I think there was Skype. I think, yeah, Skype was proposed but never implemented because somehow people just couldn't sign on. And then thankfully, everyone has a Google account because of Android. So for us, we use Google Meet heavily, and then we could schedule calendars. Also, we could schedule meetings. So yeah, it was quite jarring, I would say, to have to see your boss kids run around, and then you kind of sort of see the interior decor of their houses and stuff like that. So yeah, we use Google Meet for the meetings and things. Then Google Calendar to schedule them, and emails and group chat to keep everyone reminded about the meetings. So yeah, that's how it was.
How about Kim? How your company schedule?
We use our own proprietary integrations. So that's one way. The other way is that just like any other people, that's like Zoom and then Google Meet, Google Meeting. I think those two were pretty good, I would say. Yeah, just for like a casual meeting.
Yeah. I've been working with different projects on different companies. So currently, my company from the US is using Zoom. So we have a G Suite account too, but we prefer use Zoom because they already subscribe a paid account on it, and it's quite stable. For Google Meet, I use it for like projects meeting with teammates on the weekend. That's also quite stable. So to use Google Meet previously, you need a business account. And right now, it's like
Free.
yeah, everything's free now on Meet.
No, there's a race to get users.
Correct. To get users away from Zoom. I think Zoom have changed their app recently because I just updated, and there's a few weird situation where you can't really join the conversation directly. You'll be kicked out several times before you can join it. Yeah, it happens on my computer, so I'm not sure whether that's cross. And also for online webinar, I think there's a program called GoToWebinar. I just use it today to go to webinar. For the PC version on browser, when you click in, it doesn't have voice, any audio, it doesn't have sound. So I'm not sure what is happening on the web app, but if I go into the webinar using my phone, Android phone, it works fine. So something went wrong on the web app side. So
For GoTo?
yeah, go to webinar. Yeah.
I thought it was like Citrix kind of something thing. Right?
Yeah, correct. And I'm using Linux, so that's why they don't have a desktop app. So I need to use a web browser for it. Yeah, it's different. I think for us, like we have a lot of options right now. A lot of people are going into the online conferencing tools right now, like.
But how did Zoom become so popular? Like outbeating Skype and even like Microsoft Team and I don't know Google Meets. I think was it because it was free or what?
I think it's first is free. Second is latency. So if you have bad internet connection, you're still able to get your voice over compared to other platform where they just drop you off. So they have a proprietary technology on the packet. Yeah, bandwidth packet management.
So is it like Silicon Valley compression algorithm kind of thing?
I'm not sure about that, but it's doing pretty good. Previously I used it. Now because of the security concern, yeah, something not right. it's getting
That's also one of our edge against Zoom is that Zoom requires you to install an app, but our solution is just using the browser WebRTC, which is much more secure. So because you don't need to install one more app on your computer, so you always get the latest software.
Yep, correct.
All right.
So I think next one we go for so because of the current situation, right? So anything that you think can improve the life of the Penang developers right now, like anything, any advice or any tips or tricks that you can give to fellow developers right now?
I can think of something. I mean, since you can't go anywhere, right? The best thing you can do is learn how to code. Like regardless what major you are in, just learn how to code. It's the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I second that also because right now there's a lot of webinars and online courses that they just made available for free. Not to mention a lot of ebooks that probably you will download and never read. So everything is online, and yeah, for discount also because you don't really have to take up physical space. So there's actually a lot of conferences and what do you call it? I think even Build went online, right? Microsoft Build 2020 was online, so everything is there. You can just check them out for the new technologies or new technologies, seminars, and training programs and stuff. And not to mention, like everyone is looking for a developer to do remote stuff like communications, encryption, like what you're doing. And yeah, setting up their websites definitely is going to be a boom. Even integrating with other stuff.
Yeah. For me, I think the advice I will give that when I first started working remotely, I think time management is one of the hardest stuff to.
Yeah, that is true, man.
Because
Time management.
you control yourself, not your boss or anyone in the office. You decide your time, right?
Yeah, and you have to put time to clean the house, do the chores, get lunch and dinner. Especially when you're living alone. If you're living with someone, at least you have someone to share the burden with, or with your family and stuff. Living alone is lonely, I'll say, to say the least.
I think though, it's always true regardless you work remotely or not, right? But I heard from my coworkers or like people saying like their kids always distract them. I think that's the problem with those with families. But you just have to find time, right? But at the bright side though, you do save the traffics because, example, sometimes when I go to work, it takes me back and forth. It takes me at least more than an hour. So I save the time to do something else different.
Yeah, the traffic time that really makes sense. Like in Penang also, if you want to travel from the mainland to the island and back and forth, it's at least
Wow. But I can't say for now. Even now, the roads are having more cars, so I think it's getting close to pre-MCO. Just there's no school yet in Malaysia. But for those who work from home, yeah, definitely cherish the time because it's ending, man. It's ending. You have to go to work.
Yeah.
Like life is getting back to normal.
So,
Well, you can't travel international, so all travel plans are just dumped.
correct. I think it's best to have a list of reminders on the to-do list, and also put your stuff on calendar, because when you get busy, you kind of lose track on things, right? Certain meetings, certain key deadlines. yeah, so I use a lot on Google Calendar. Everything I need reminder, I just put there. Okay, this need to pay, like, for example, like loan, credit card. I almost forget paying my credit card. So put there, so that it reminds me every time. Okay, I need to do this, or certain meetings. Yeah, I think Google Calendar helped me to get myself reminded of certain things, and also if you want to stay focused on your work in your house because no one's looking at you, right? Install some website blocking plugins on your browser. It will help you for a certain case. Like if you need to focus without distraction, you can block like Facebook, YouTube, and stuff, right? So you don't go in and spend too much time on that.
Yep.
Right? So that's
use-
productivity.
Your team doesn't implement shaming culture. Shame like you are not doing the work. Okay. I felt at least I felt like very shameful whenever if you say like on the stand up you say like the same thing as what you have done yesterday, you will be like, why is it still not done, right? It's like yeah, but at least that's a way to shame. I felt like stand up is a way to shame your coworkers or yourself. So
it's a subtle way of applying peer pressure on them.
yeah.
For
us,
us,
it will be. Sorry, you go on first. Sorry.
So for us, we have weekly meetings. We don't have daily stand-up though. So we only update each of us like once per week. So that's our culture. So how about you?
For us, it was every morning, like around 10 o'clock, there will be a sort of catch up on what's happening and then discussing on what to do for the day. But it didn't last long enough for us to start shaming each other yet. So the task, I mean, it stayed there for a while. Efficiency was definitely down, I'll say. And then there was guilt inside of me. Like you feel guilty to see that thing hanging there for it's supposed to be done last week, but right now this week we're still looking at it. And yeah, I don't know. It's like time management is very important. So kind of have to make your own schedule and not watch YouTube until 4 o'clock in the morning. This is what kind of happened for me.
Yeah, correct. Time management. Very
communications also. You have to talk to your boss like quite often. I find even throwing off a chat message to tell him what I'm doing and stuff like that kept me at the job. I mean, kept me at the table. At least, like, I'm telling you that I'm going to do this, so I'll finish it by this and then I'll just. It pushes me to work on it, to keep at it.
Okay, so how about your working hours? Because previously, if you go to office, you can have like, okay, I'm in office. This is my working hours. When I'm back home,
that is
done. Mm-hmm. So now you are remote. Basically, once you wake up, you work until you sleep, right? So like, what's your working hour looks like?
It was my boss's waking hours. So as long as my boss was awake, it was kind of the working hours that I had. So as long as he was at the keyboard, he could send sort of a message to get you to like, I need this done. Then like, I'm still online, stuff like that. It was mostly his chat status. I would say, if it was online, we were kind of like, oh, okay, I was kind of like off duty like that. It's just you're just resting. You're not supposed to be away. So we haven't really adapted well to it. Thankfully, that we sort of got office hours back quickly, quite quick. But it was my boss waking hours, to be honest.
I think I have this kind of experience when the CMO started in US, because they don't have to go and meet client, so they have more time spent on the computer looking at our code. So and our time zone is different, right? So when I'm asleep, he's awake. When I'm awake, he almost asleep, but it's not that early yet. So he's still able to do this. When I'm awake, I need to send this over. So
catch up.
So I will I will able to see him when I wake up until I sleep. I also can see him because he's online almost all the time. I have that experience, but it doesn't last too long because he able to close a deal with the client. So now we are just making things stable. So it's not much rush right now.
Cool, that's nice.
Yeah, this is like one of the. I
No,
think
it was like a period of adaptation, but like old habits die hard as long as, I mean, he has a way to get in touch with you. He has something for you to do. That's how it is in Malaysia.
Ours is a lot different. Like we always busy. I mean, startup life never easy, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
the thing.
every day is a
So
struggle.
it's like it's just like you have so many things to do. That's the thing. Like our backlog is long, but our boss never like really like say like you have to do this, right? So it's like whichever things you finish, then you just pick up the next thing from the queue, and that's how we do it. And then all the tickets has been pointed with the t-shirt size or like the points, like how big is
T-shirt
the
size?
like t-shirt size is like that on my previous company we use like small, medium, large, XL, something like that to rate a ticket, right? That's how you know
Okay.
like how complex a project is, or you can use a point, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 as like the highest, it probably takes you 3 or 4 days, right? And then 3 or 2 like will take you like maybe like 1 day, right? Or 2 days, right? And then if you have like very specific criteria on each ticket, actually that's how we can keep everyone just asynchronously, right? Finish their stuff and then move on to the next thing, deploy to staging, and then keep on picking up stuff from backlog. It doesn't matter who pick up that stuff, right? If you can't pick up that the highest on the queue, you can pick up the second highest, the third highest, the fourth highest. So do whatever you can do pretty much. So I mean, Kanban is really good. Jira itself has a backlog that you can set up, so everything just flows smoothly. But the life for me, it's kind of still the same, I would say, because it's startup.
Yeah,
So
I would say it would be kind of the same for you and Gui. So it seems that you guys are quite used to remote work.
Yeah, we didn't do actual remote previously. We have like 1 day work from home. Now we fully remote. So, and our boss said like it's very important to communicate with us like officially we can do remote because we literally have been very efficient on doing that. So it doesn't matter. So
yeah, makes sense.
So Kim, what I'd like to ask is that who sort of sets the tasks and stuff? I mean, from what I heard is that there is a backlog and then developers will pick up tasks from there.
yeah.
But someone has to bundle those stuff into tasks, right?
Because we have PM, right? So PM will do that, and PM will discuss with the client, client success manager, and they will prioritize based on the needs and also the vision, and then we kind of sneak in some of the refactoring sometimes in some of the ticket, but it really depends, right? But other than that, we also have a grooming that we're trying to understand, like what's the ticket, how does the flow, what tickets are about, so that we have general ideas. And then we have 1 day that we will point the ticket together as a developer side. Everyone has a
Point
voting.
the ticket means that giving them points or what?
Yeah, giving them points. Everyone have
The
to
t-shirt
agree.
size thing.
Yeah, everyone have to agree yes with one numbers, right? If you say 5, we say 4, then we have to say like why you think 4, why you think 5, why you think 6, 7, 8, whatever, right? And if it's too big, it means that this ticket has to be broken down into smaller pieces, right? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense because it's always you want to ship incrementally and fast, right? That's agile philosophy, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
So we can deploy like twice or 3 times a week. That's how we do the release every week. Yeah.
Dare not say that we sorely need the project manager to help us. We only have developers, so it's more like it's just straight assigned, like you do this, you do that, and then
Yeah, that's
there's
a
not
little
much
bit
discussion.
in my
about it.
opinion, that's a little bit micromanaging, but that's just my opinion. Anyway,
Yeah.
I have to drop because I have a stand up to shame myself now. Okay.
Okay.
See you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you,
see
Kim. See you.
So yeah,
Wow.
think let me share something.
All right.
So for future online meetups, there's a form if you want to send in your proposal, your top proposal, Penang tag my.tk meetups. You just put in what you want to talk, and then we'll the time that you want to speak, then we'll able to contact you, right? So that's for future speakers.
All right.
I think, oh, my computer is lagging. So open discussion. I think we are almost time. Because then, we can
Well, we
skip
did
that.
stay up a bit late than expected.
So speakers, you can, if you want to speak in the next meetup, you can go to penangtech.my.tk to fill up the forms, or go to this Facebook groups to say that, okay, you want to volunteer to speak in the meetups. So shout outs. Facebook hackathons still live right now. You have 2 more weeks. You can submit your hacks. You just go to devpost.com hackathon and search for Facebook. There's 3 tracks: Messenger, AR, and AI. So if you're interested in hackathon, please go and check it out. Do you have anything to shout out, Xiong?
Not much. We are kind of still working up the backlog from the MCO for us. So shout outs, no, not much. Unless you want to talk about some tools that I found.
Oh, you have tools?
I recently found Learn. So it's this nifty little thing that helps you make process flows. So that's how I shared my thoughts with my boss regarding the work that needs to be done. Yep. So
Okay.
let me send you the link in the private chat.
Yep, sure.
So this is done. So this is, yeah, you can open it and that's on the sheet. Yep, so this is, you can make diagrams programmatically, and then it helps like to generate the flow charts and the sequence of programs really fast. And it's in Java, so it's like you can get it in one executable and stuff like that.
Okay.
StreamYard is sharing the screen. It's a load. Oh no.
UML, good. UML diagram. Starting to draw.
So draw UML diagrams because sometimes pictures do speak better than text and video calls.
Yeah. Okay. So this
free.
Need to download as a Java app?
It's a Java app, yep. Or
Okay.
they have a web, how to say, a web interface that you could use, but sometimes not everyone's always online, right? So yeah, I recommend this to if you wanted to quickly build up your process diagrams, your sequences, and make UML. And one of the benefits of it, features it has is that it allows you to make the diagrams by typing. So you just have to do the if-else things, and maybe if you need like more extensions, you can just write it down, and then the images will be automatically generated. And yeah, it's really nifty, small and light. So I would recommend it if you wanted to need these tools.
Good sharing, cool sharing. Yeah, so do check it out. UMLab. firesidechat.com. Later, I'll be sharing this GitHub link for just now the talk. Yeah.
Kim
I'll
is
be sharing it on YouTube and also on Facebook. Okay.
cool. All right.
So I think, yeah, if you're interested to help out in any tech meetups in Penang, we have a lot of tech communities here, Penang. So if you want to help out in any of it, to reach out. So until then, so thank you for being here. See you in the next meetup. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.